Hi there and welcome back to my silly little channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So I wasn't really sure if anyone would be interested in watching this video or not, but I still had to make this for the sake of my own sanity, if not for anything else. So first, before we start, let me just put a few things out there. If you're a fan of Colleen Hoover or her books, it's completely fine. No judgment here. You do you. It's just my personal opinion. But still, if you like her books or her, I wouldn't suggest you to watch this video because I don't have a lot of good things to say about her books and I don't mean to offend anyone, so please. And also, this video is obviously going to have spoilers for all of the books that you saw in the thumbnail. So if you want to read them for whatever reason, then please just don't watch this video. If you've never heard of Colleen Hoover or her books, how does it feel to live in this world of yours? I would like to come visit, maybe stay there. But let me give you the Wikipedia introduction. So Colleen Hoover is an American author who has sold over 20 million books as of October 2022, and she primarily writes in the romance and the young adult genre. I have a lot of opinions on that, but we wouldn't be getting into that in this video. But if you want to know more about why her books are so popular or why she's labeled as a problematic author, then I would suggest this video by the Book Pro, where he explains all of this in less than 7 minutes. So if you want to know more about that, I will provide the link in the description so you can go watch that as well. Let's get started with the video. If you couldn't figure out from the title and the thumbnail, then let me explain it to you a little bit. In this video, we are going to talk about all of the Colleen Hoover books that I've read and why I wouldn't be reading any more of her books. This can also be considered a rant review of all 5 of these books because I have a lot to say. If you're thinking about why I'm looking down a lot, it's because I have these points or the things that I have to say written down, because I knew that if I came in unprepared, then I would just blab out nonsense and this video would be an hour long. Let's start with the first book that I ever read by her and also the reason why this video exists. This book should have been my sign to not read any more of her work, and what can I say? I just enjoy being miserable. There is no other explanation at this point. Just give you a little overview of what this book is about. So we follow Miles and Rachel. Miles and Tate. Miles being Tate's brother's best friend and Tate being Miles' therapist. No, I meant friends with benefits kind of person, and the whole time she's hoping that he would change because duh, she's falling for him, while Miles just implicitly leads her on, even though he's very clear about his boundaries. He doesn't want a relationship, he doesn't want all of that stuff, but he won't stop their arrangement. They both were so stupid. I have a ton of problems with this book, so let's just get started with my list. First problem with this book was the dual point of views. Usually I like that, but the problem in this book was that Tate's present POV and Miles' past POV alternates, so every time we see something progressing between them, it just goes to the past where he's so much in love with another woman. It was just so annoying. Issue, and the one that annoyed me the most, was that Tate was a total doormat. She never spoke up for herself. Like, whatever happens, this bitch would just accept it. And so many things that he did, she just accepted it and she just took him back and forgave him so easily. It was so annoying. Like, just speak up for yourself for once. Third issue, and the most glaring one, is that Colleen made, I can't even say it, it's just so absurd. Miles and Rachel, the first love of Miles' life, was his stepsister. I just don't get it. If it was some random person, like, they didn't have to be step siblings. If it was anyone else, it would have been just as traumatic, whatever happened with Miles, but she just had to give a shock factor in the book and she chose to make it this thing. Many other things to say, but it all just comes back to the way Miles treated Tate and the way she responded to that behavior. I hate this book. I read this quite a while back and I didn't hate it as much as I hated Ugly Love, so I don't really have that much to say about it, but I know that I gave it 2 stars mainly because of the presence of this one trope, and I know that it could be a me problem, but I just hate the insta love trope. Like, how could you just meet a person and then end up falling for them in a little time frame? Like, how? The main issue that I had with this book was that when a guy ends up in jail for whatever he did, the girl waits for him for 4 years. For a person that she doesn't even know properly, she just met him for 1 month. I just couldn't understand it, and I cannot come to terms with this ending, and that is the reason that I gave it 2 stars. Remembered what happens with her father. So our girl's name is Bea, and she lives with her mother. Her mother is a drug addict, and she eventually dies of a drug overdose as well. And she was never really present, and she never really provided for Bea the way a parent should have. She had to struggle so much for even basic things, all because their father was never there. And whatever money he sent, he sent some money to her, but her mother always took it, so nothing ever really reached her. But in the end, he just makes a grand speech about how sorry he is, and everything is just fine. They hug it out, and it's okay. I think this is a common theme in her books, that whatever the man does, it's okay, you just take them back. So it ends with us is easily Colleen Hoover's most popular book, and basically this is about Lily, who falls in love with an abusive man called Ryle, and how she gets out of that relationship. Colleen has said that this is based on her own mother's experience with abuse, so it's genuinely surprising how she handled it so bad and why she romanticized abuse so much in this book. Lily, after the first incident that happens with Ryle, she terms it as dangerous herself. She realizes that this is bad and toxic, but she still continues on in that relationship. And even the ending, Lily gets pregnant, and this is also a common theme in her books. Somebody either is pregnant or ends up pregnant. I just don't get the obsession with that. Obviously, Lily's obsession with Ellen, the way she writes letters to her, and even in It Starts With Us, where she had a chance to correct herself, but she doesn't. She keeps on writing letters to Ellen DeGeneres. The thing that annoyed me the most was the ending. So in the end, Lily ends up pregnant with Ryle's child, and I just don't get it, how you could allow someone who has himself said that he blanks out when he's in anger, like when he's very angry, he blanks out, he doesn't know what he's doing. How can you allow such a person to be a permanent part of your child's life? How can you decide to co-parent with him? Like, how? How do you put your child in that situation? And for the people who say that Ryle also deserves a happy ending and that he should be forgiven and that you sympathize with him, how? We should respect everyone's opinion, but not this opinion. Not the opinion that you like Ryle. Like, I think I've heard this line somewhere that I get the urge to fix people, and I'm quoting someone, I just don't remember whom, but I get the urge to fix broken people, but not the people who could break you in return. Filming this video for so long and I'm so tired, so for the next 2 books we're going to talk about them really quickly. All Your Perfects, I think I gave it 3.5 something stars the first time I read it, but now that I have had a little time to think about it, I think I will give it around 2.5 to 3 stars. This is still one of her better books, but it has the 2 tropes that I just cannot stand: cheating and miscommunication. This entire book would have been 10 pages if they had just sat and communicated with each other. I also didn't like any of the characters. Quinn was so irritating. Like, I get it that she was going through a lot, but that does not excuse the way you treat someone, and she treated Graham like shit. And I'm also not saying that he didn't deserve it. I think I liked Graham like in the first half of the book, but then he goes there and he cheats on her, and then he tries to gaslight her into thinking that it was because of her. I don't have a lot to say about this one, but yeah, it also has the same thing that Graham goes out and cheats on Quinn, and then she just takes him back. It's not even a big thing in the book. And the last book, Verity, I think this one is the only book that I would give 4 stars. I understand that this is also very like fucked up and everything, but I think this was supposed to be that way, and it is labeled correctly. It's a thriller, and I know the other reviews are saying that it's predictable, but I don't usually read thrillers, and so it wasn't predictable for me. My brain just doesn't work on that level. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I kind of liked it. But I still had my issues with this book. The way Verity obsessed over Jeremy, and also, again, the same thing. In the end, when Jeremy kind of confesses whatever he did with Verity, and Lowen just accepts it. And then she ends up pregnant. Yeah, that happens. And they live together. Like, how can you live with a man who you know
tried to murder his wife? You helped him do it.
Made it till here. Thank you so much for watching the full video. I've spoken so much and I don't know if any of this makes any sense, but I wanted to put these things out there. I wanted to rant about all of these because I just couldn't keep it in my head and stay sane. It wasn't possible. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you like it. I seriously doubt that, but still. But I hope I'll see you around. Bye.